Welcome to the first episode of the Pylon with Thomas Bede.
Hello.
I'm Jay. This is Thomas Bede.
Good evening.
And we're here to break down the latest NFL news. It's our first NFL show. Also our first show not about the NBA, so happy to bring it to you. First of all, Thomas, what do you want to be talking about first for the people?
Well, since it's that time of year again, I'm going to go right to my Super Bowl predictions. Then I'm going to go into who I want to win the Super Bowl. Then, after that, we're going to get to the Patriots, and I'm going to poke holes in some good players.
All right, so let's start out with the Super Bowl predictions. What is your prediction of what's going to happen on Sunday tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Carolina, 24. Peyton Manning and the Broncos, 20.
Interesting. You know what? I'm gonna agree with you on one part. I think that Carolina will win, but I think it's gonna be 35-3.
Oh, so it's Cam Newton's just gonna.
I think Cam Newton's gonna have a field day. Yeah, I really do. I really think Cam Newton's unstoppable here. So who do you think who do you want to win the Super Bowl now? I mean, that's your prediction, but who are you pulling for to win the Super Bowl?
Well, 2 weeks ago when Peyton Manning beat the Patriots, I was kind of angry and I wanted Peyton Manning to lose by 100. But now that I take a step back, I realize how much I hate Cam Newton. So I want Peyton Manning to go out with a bang, get a ring, and sail off into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what I think, too. I think Peyton Manning deserves a ring. He's been through a lot of ups and downs in his career, and this would be the perfect way to go out, you know? You'd hate to see a guy like that, after the career he's had, to just walk out, as a loser. So,
and Cam Newton's young. He has plenty of time, plenty of talent to get his team where it is now in the future.
Yeah, some good news we heard about Cam Newton today. You want to announce that to the people?
MVP! I think he deserves it. He leads the league in total touchdowns. Combination of running and passing. So, good for him. He's a good athlete. I'm not a personal fan of him, but he does deserve MVP.
All the accolades, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm kind of surprised. If it wasn't him, I would have liked to see Tom Brady or Carson Palmer, get that title. Just because, they're the best passers in the game right now. So, but, good pick. Cam Newton deserved it.
All right, let's move on to the Patriots. So, we are New England Patriots fans up here in the Boston area. So let's talk about the Patriots' future and, what's next. First of all, before we get to the future, let's talk about Tom Brady and how, he struggled a little bit in that Denver game. Receivers weren't that great towards the end of the year. So what do you think the future is for Tom Brady? Is he going to hang it up? How many more years, if any, does he have left?
Well, as any quarterback, age is a factor. Tom Brady doesn't show it as much as other quarterbacks at his age. But if he's going to stay healthy and play longer, he needs to fix that offensive line. Well, not him, but Bill Belichick and all that staff need to get that offensive line fixed. Tom Brady cannot be getting hit that much. He was up there in sacks taken, top 20, I believe. Actually, top 10. He ranks 9th in times sacked. So that's a lot on any quarterback, but especially a man of his age.
Yeah.
And, so he can't be getting hit like that. And he needs time to scan the field and see who's open. And especially if you don't have good receivers, which was a problem for the Patriots. Top receivers injured, drops. Tom Brady needs time to look around for who's open, and he can't be getting hit because taking a lot of hits really just takes off years of your career. So I think that's the biggest problem.
Definitely is a problem. A lot of people would agree with you, but what do you think the main issue was for the Patriots towards the end of the year? Was it health, or was it simply the players weren't focused in much, or were the Broncos simply a better team for them?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Injuries definitely played a factor. That offensive line was just mutilated. And, the receiving core for the Patriots were injured, so maybe they were all healthy that game, but, they haven't had all the experience that they've had throughout the season because this person and that have been injured, so they probably weren't all on the same page since they didn't have all the practice time that they usually would have had. So I think most of it was health. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from the Broncos. They're a great team, great defense, best in the league. And I think Peyton Manning just wanted it more.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think Tom Brady has left in the tank? I mean, you mentioned him getting, ninth overall in sacks taken, but how much does he have left in the tank? He is a pretty old veteran.
Well, if you've ever listened to press conferences, he always says he has 10 more years. And, I mean, he's looked good, leading the league in touchdowns this year. He still has a lot in the tank, but that tank can quickly be emptied if he keeps getting hit. So I think realistically he has probably 3 more years in him.
I say he only has 2. I don't see much more than maybe 1 more year potentially. Because you start to see dips in quarterbacks dramatically. Like Peyton Manning, towards the middle of the season, his efficiency took a huge dip. So I mean,
yeah, once you start to deteriorate, it happens quick. Like you can be at the top of your game one day, and then you're showing that age in the next. So it'll happen quickly, and I hope he sticks around for a while. But we'll know when it happens.
Yeah, I guess we will. Some overrated players in the NFL lately. We're going to break down them, probably the most controversial in your mind. Why don't you tell everyone who you think is the most overrated player in the NFL?
J.J. Watt. If you ever watch a Texans game, it's not even about J.J. Watt, and the cameras will still pan over to him. He's on the sideline getting a drink, and the camera zooms up on him, and the announcers are going crazy like, oh my gosh, look at J.J. Watt. And the offense is on the field. It's not even his playtime. He's resting up, and the offense is taking the field, and the cameras are still fixed right on J.J. Watt. There's no reason for it. And I know he led the league in sacks, but I want to shoot out some numbers real quick. He plays in the worst division of football. Jaguars, Titans, Colts. None of them had a winning season. The Texans made the playoffs in that division, and they're awful. Blake Bortles got sacked the most in the league, and Marcus Mariota got sacked 10 times in the league, and the Colts had an awful offensive line. And that's a total of 8 games against horrific offensive lines, and not to say that he's played some other pretty lame offensive lines throughout the season. So I think that 17.5 sacks is a little unrealistic if he played against good teams. So, I mean, he's a good player, but really he's way overrated. And I think it's unnecessary for the cameras just to zoom in on his face every time. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but a player of his personality, the way he plays the game. I mean, the fans are going to react the way the fans are going to react. So you can't blame the cameras for finding what the fans want. And they want J.J. Watt. They want him in large doses. They don't want a little here and there. They want all the time J.J. Watt. So that's what the fans want. That's what they're giving him.
Yeah, I mean, he's the star down in Texas. And they don't have a lot of huge players on the Texans. He's really the biggest figure on the Texans. But league-wide, he shouldn't be respected as much as he
shouldn't be held as a level of greatness, you're saying.
Yeah, on the grand scheme of things, there's better players than him.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's a tremendous athlete, but I mean, people need to lay off. Yeah. So that's my overrated pick.
The next thing we're going to look at is some surprising teams to look forward to. Next year they might make some noise. You want to give us the first team that you think will make some noise next year and maybe they'll surprise some people?
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much we want to look forward to the next season right after the Super Bowl. It's a long few months, but it's never too early to start analyzing some teams for next year. My first pick is the Oakland Raiders. Playing great this season. Derek Carr, nice young QB. They have a lot of young talent on that squad. So I think once they add a few pieces in free agency and, the draft, I think they could possibly be a playoff contender next year. They're in the same division as the Broncos, and if this is Peyton Manning's last season, then the Broncos won't be so hot next year. So maybe they can get their division and make the playoffs. So I think that's my first personal pick for the most surprising team for next year to look out for.
Yeah, big thing for the Raiders. I was talking to some Raiders fans earlier this week, and they were really impressed with the 6 Pro Bowlers they had. Usually you see 3 a lot for one team, but 6 Pro Bowlers for the Raiders, which is pretty remarkable for a team that didn't even make the playoffs. So definitely Oakland on the rise. They got some nice young talent, and watch out for them in the future.
Yeah, and hopefully they have more of a home field advantage this year because, they looked like it was going to go to a different city. The team might have relocated. But now that they've stayed, I think there might be a little bit of more hometown pride. And I think this Oakland team is going to be motivated and ready to make the playoffs next year and turn that Oakland fan base and the team around.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But what do you think the another team that might surprise some people would be?
All right, well, I'm gonna shoot out a secret real quick. I really like the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're up here in New England, so we really shouldn't care much about other teams. But I do like the Jaguars. They're a fun team to follow, and I think they're gonna be really good next year. 2 receivers breaking Jaguars records, and Bortles, good QB, second in the league in touchdowns, right behind the GOAT Tom Brady. And he also led the league, but he also got sacked the most too. If that offensive line, get some few pieces together, give Bortles more time to scan the field and make better decisions, I think he could be maybe best player in the league next year, stat-wise, in terms of touchdowns and yards, because they have 2 great Jaguars can get that fixed up. I think they're golden to make a little playoff run.
I mean, absolutely. So definitely got to watch out for them. What about some young players? Jameis Winston's team, the Bucks, or maybe Mariota's team, the Titans. Which team do you think has a better future, Titans or Bucks, led by their sophomore quarterbacks next season?
Well, I think I'm going to have to give the victory to Jameis Winston. He played tremendous this year, so I think that team has a lot more better pieces. I think the Titans are pretty far away. I mean, they have the first pick in the draft 2 years in a row, so that could help a little bit. But I think there are many pieces away. They're probably looking at 3 or 4 years before Mariota can make it to the playoffs. However, the Bucks, they've had some good wins this year over some good teams. If Doug Martin stays, that defense gets a little bit of help, keeps healthy. I think Jameis Winston could be looking at the playoffs in 2 to 3 years, while Jameis Winston's looking at 4 to 5 years. Marcus Mariota's looking at 4 or 5 years. So separately, I think Mariota's the better player of the two, but I think his team is just in a different position than the Bucks. So I think the Bucks have the advantage in coming years.
Yeah, definitely they do. So, to wrap up the show, I think last topic we could talk about is Johnny Manziel's situation with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
A lot of sources are saying that they're going to cut him in about a month. What do you think about that?
Well, that situation's bigger than football. His dad released statements saying that he's feared for Johnny's life. Drug use, alcohol, getting arrested. It's a slippery slope. I don't think he's ready to play football. He acted up in college. He's going to act up now. He needs to get his head straight. He's not quarterback material. If you look at the great quarterbacks of all time, look at Tom Brady's work regimen. He's in the gym 6 o'clock in the morning every day until